Welcome to the Stationary Astronauts Podcast. This episode is brought to you by sponsors at KATO CBT. We love them so much. They got that legal kind of weed that we roll up. Yeah. KATO CBD we love so much. They got their legal kind of weed that we blow up. Yeah. Find them at KATOCBD.com. Use code word astronaut at checkout for 10% off. Once again, find them at KATOCBD.com. Use code word astronaut at checkout for 10% off. 10% off.
You wanna rock? This episode is also brought to you by your original custom jeweler. Hey, Rochester, Lapidary Jewelers. Welcome to the show. All right, baby. This is what you call rock and roll. Yeah.
All right. Now that we got the concert out of the way, let's psychoanalyze our guest. It's not every day you come across a sexual education teacher who is also an outstanding up-and-coming comedian. Female at that. And they're my favorite type of people is female comedians. Why is that? They have an extreme sense of humor. I was lucky enough to link up with Khadijah. She was a guest on the Homies, the Back Pocket podcast up in the Twin Cities, and she hit me up and she said, "Nick, what up, dude? What up, dude? You want to learn about some sex organs and whatnot?" And I said, listen, lady, I have a child. I know a little something. No, I got the goods for you, daddy. None of that was said. She didn't call me her father either. We got to go deep, man. We talked like parenting and stuff, and just kind of like our angle towards it. And we just shared a good time. Khadijah is a bright spirit. I was lucky enough to have her. She was my first guest, my first official guest in the brand new Astral Network, baby. That might not make much sense to you. We are doing full launch and exposure here in due time. Still have a set to build. Once we get through Where the Minds Meet, probably hammer that out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Where the Minds Meet is coming up next Friday, November 1st. You going to be there? www.wherethemindsmeet.com with Dr. Gabor Mate, Dr. Dennis McKenna, Dr. Joe Tafur, hosted by the OG Giselle Ugardi. She was our host last year for the kickoff installment with Gary V. She is the host this year, of course. This one, we're switching it up a little bit. We've got a VIP experience during the day with our speakers and Giselle, of course. We're going to be doing a live podcast with Dr. Gabor Mate, and then that will roll into a live panel discussion with Dr. Dennis McKenna and Dr. Joe Tafur. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. Just go to Eventbrite if you want to skip the website. You can put in Gabor Mate. You can put in Dennis McKenna. You can put in Where the Minds Meet. You can put in Stationary Astronaut. You'll find it. Also, November 12th, we have our 007 Lincoln Drink. This is our seventh installment, ironically enough, at 7 downtown Minneapolis. This will be our second installment at 7. We love our boy Yumwin. He has been taking care of us. The 7 staff, the 7 team, the 7 family are our family. We love them so much. This time, we're changing the game. And it's all about going to the league. So I'll let you do the math there. It's going to be, it's going to be Dress to Impress. So like picture 007 theme. You don't have to go rent a tuxedo if you don't want to. You can, but you don't have to. Dress to Impress for this one. We're switching the game. Less flat bill hats and, Converse All-Stars and stuff like that. Let's make it classy, right? So you're going to the league. Lincoln Drink 007. Go get your tickets on Eventbrite as well. We love that platform. It works so seamless with Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the show.
And I'm gonna be high as a fucking man.
And now, the stationary astronaut.
If it was life kicking me in the dick or not, I had no idea. Mm-hmm. Or if this was a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're getting it out of the way. Mm-hmm. You can never... Children are a life changer that you can't even plan for or pre-curse.
True.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So anything anyone ever tells you is wrong.
Yeah.
Even if it's right.
But it also doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I had my daughter unexpectedly. She's 15 now.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 15. And when I figured out that I was pregnant, I really had to look for the reason why, because I was doing a lot of fucking, and I was like, why is this it? And now it makes sense to me. I was like bartending and like probably not like super wild, but enough to where my uterus was like, I'm gonna cling on to this, and it like stuck, And then I was like, okay, I'm a mom now. And then that's what it is.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it was. She was born like a month after Christmas.
Really?
Yep. Her birthday's in January.
January, baby.
Yeah, that makes sense because I said a month. People already got that.
15 already? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
10th grade, 15, tall. She's awesome. I'm very lucky. Now we're just coasting. Now we're just like coasting through because I was really intentional about planting really good seeds in her early. So at this time of my life, I could like do the things that I wanted to do and like do comedy and also still like be really involved. It's not like I'm like, you're 15 now, peace, I'm out. But so I was really invested in her for a very long time. And like, I'm still invested, but like making sure I plant these seeds because now I start to see them pop up. When we talk about the relationship she has with her friends and the way that I see her navigate interpersonal relationships, I know that like she heard me and she's hearing me, but she's still 15 and like sometimes I could choke her at any moment, And I feel like my defenses is like she's taller than me. So I'm the victim here.
Do you feel like you've still done a pretty damn good job?
Yeah, I mean, I was raised by such a strong woman who was resilient and just did not give up. And I got to see the progression of hard work and tenacity and grit. And, when I was in like grade school, my mom started working at one of the Fortune 500 companies here in the I'll just say it, General Mills. And she was a secretary in security, like in the bottom of the basement. And I seen her go to school and work her way all the way up to getting a master's degree, like riding on the private jet to like do work things, so I got to see that growing up. So that's ingrained in me. And I was able to pass that on to my daughter, even though I feel like she's a little lazy now.
You feel like she's lazy?
A little bit. But she's like 15. She like doesn't want to do chores. She doesn't want to like clean her room. All she wants to do is like fiddle on her laptop and watch stupid YouTube videos.
Yeah, I feel like I'm reading this book right now. It's all about having an umbilical relationship with your child over that being taken over by friends. peer relationships are a great thing to have, but when they are raising your child, because we lack umbilical relationships with our kids, that's where they start getting outlandish, and then it's keeping up with the Joneses. They want to do what their friends do. They want to wear what their friends wear. They want to, conversate how their friends conversate, which is gossip. So that umbilical relationship early on with our children is so important. Males as well.
Yeah.
Because that way, the only way your kids will fully listen to you, trust you, is if you have that umbilical relationship early on. So they talk about it like the first 4 years are when it gets ingrained. So you obviously have that with your daughter. It's just a matter of reining them in and explaining. I'm learning this through my readings and the doctors I get to work with, is ingraining in them that their friends are not all they're cracked up to be. Because picture our longevity with our friends. It's ebbs and flows of who we surround ourselves with, and then as we become professionals, we surround ourselves with other professionals who might not even be the crowd we ran with back in the day. And making that understood in our kids' young minds is so important. Allowing it to be malleable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense to me because I understand like adolescent development and development of young people. So that definitely makes sense to me, right? Because if you spend that time and ingrain that in them when they're younger, then when they're older and they're going through puberty and like their brain is like really figuring out life and they're starting to go from like concepts that have to be black and white and they're starting to figure out the nuances of relationships and consequences and outcomes and things like that. If they have that ingrained in them that like, oh, this may not be everything, like I need to kind of make my own decision, is kind of how I feel like this translates when they get older. That totally makes sense to me. That absolutely does. And that's really interesting because I don't do a lot of I don't have a lot of like information about kids younger than like 6th grade because my work is really like adolescent age, so really like 6th through 1st, 2nd year college. So yeah, that totally makes sense to me that would be something that's really important early on in development, because then again, you're just laying a foundation for when they get older to be able to be independent when like almost like in their brain is telling them not to be self-conscious, to run with the crowd, to like take risk and do all these things, right? But if they kind of have that voice inside of them that's yours, that's saying, hey, like these friends may not like really like look at it from an objective perspective, that could really help them. And I feel like now seeing my daughter navigate like middle school and early high school relationships, I've seen that because the group that she ran with in like 6th grade is very different than the group that she ran with now. And she noticed and figured out early on, like, this is full of fucking drama and it's not for me. So I'm going to have this little group that is like minimal drama. And like, they've been friends since 7th grade, which feels like forever in teen years.
The book is called Hold On to Your Kids by Dr. Gabor Mate.
I love that.
Who we have coming here November 1st. And it's so interesting because it's called peer orientation. So setting your kids up to be independent vessels as a parent, so peer orientation doesn't take over their life, because it's a leading cause of suicide. So many people had attributed fucked up childhoods because of parents to suicide, but really the numbers say that it's peer orientation that's fucking them up. So like, say you come from a poor household and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and then you get made fun of, bullied, whatever.
Yeah.
Kids are offing themselves way too early because they weren't set up to be independent, have no fucks to give in regards to what crowd they run with.
Yeah, I love that idea and that mentality. I really do. I think it's so important that people can understand, like, you can have a group, but then individuality is like really important, and being able to separate that. And yeah, I think that's super important.
Have you seen the show Big Mouth on Netflix?
I've had to, because all the kids are talking about it. Yes, I've seen it. And it's like funny because it's like, this is like kind of very real and very true. You know what I mean? Like the hormone monster, I believe that's what they would look like. And that's exactly how they would act. You know, like, yeah. And I love the dynamics of the characters because everybody's kind of figuring out where they fit in, and everybody's trying to figure out their sexuality. in the midst of, am I normal? It's the midst of like comparing yourself to your peers, but then not wanting to be ostracized from your peers, but you want to fit in, but you also want to be an individual. How fucking complicated is that? There's adults that can't even like grasp that concept, and we're putting pressure on young people to like figure that out. And I think, like you said, as parents, we got to be like in it. I think, you know, if parents, well, for me, I don't want, you know, for me, I'm like, I rather focus on my daughter and making sure that she has good communication skills. She understands that she can always advocate for herself, all those things, and no pressure on the other stuff. Like, she plays volleyball. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, she loves the sport, but that's not where the bread and butter is gonna come from. But I support it, and we, you know, play year round, and it's great for her. But I know some parents that are focusing on that and like forgetting that we have to help our young kids and our teenagers navigate interpersonal relationships, because we're not doing that. We're like history, math, standards, this, and they can't navigate how to have a conversation with somebody. That blows my mind. I'm like, where our priorities lie.
All the while, communication is going to get them everywhere.
I love communication. It's my favorite thing, you know, because I get to have these conversations on a daily basis. I get to work in a field where I'm like submerged in concepts about interpersonal skills and sex. Dun, 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 dun. That's
How do you, so is it awkward for you to talk about sex with 13-year-olds?
No.
You have to be comfortable, right?
Yeah, 100%. I have to be comfortable. And I'm not talking to them about like how to have sex. I'm giving them facts on how to keep themselves safe, how to be in healthy relationships, how to negotiate sex with people, things like that.
Bring a contract.
Bring a contract. No, when we say negotiate, we're like negotiate like using a condom, or negotiate like what sexual acts you will do, even though we're not talking about sexual acts a lot. But no, it's not. It's my favorite thing, and it just comes second nature to me. And in that time when I'm with those young people, I'm able to like show them like, this doesn't have to be taboo. Like, we can talk about this in an open, respectful, responsible way, and in a fun way. And it doesn't have to be something that's not talked about. Because if we're talking about sex, then hopefully people are able to have better sex.
And if it's you, it has to be comical.
Probably. Sometimes I like feel like, oh, I'm going to do a bit, and it doesn't land, and I get offended. I'm like, that was a good bit. Y'all better laugh. And they're like, bring on the condoms, bitch. Like, we're done. Like, stop it. You know? And I'm just like, fine. I'm going to tell this on stage to adults, and they're going to love it. That's how that works.
How much of your act is translated from what you talk about at work? A lot of it? Please, some of it?
It's like most of it, but sometimes I get exhausted on like doing sex ed jokes, you know, because then I'm like, oh my God, like that's funny. Or like I'll be in a space where I'm like, I don't want to do my sex ed jokes. Like, I'm going to do different jokes, but it's a lot of it. It's so much of it, you know, from where I work to what I get to do to like the funny things that the kids say and ask. Ugh, it's just like comedy gold.
If you can pinpoint one of the funniest things you've ever been asked while teaching, what would it be?
The funniest, I would say this kid, there's a couple of things that's funny. I think when they ask like, how hard do I have to rub my clit to like have an orgasm? And I'm like, everyone's body's different. Or they'll ask questions like, this one kid wrote, hey, is masturbating 12 times a day too much, or am I putting up rookie numbers? I'm like, if you're not playing in Fortnite a couple hours a day, then you're masturbating too much. Like, go outside and kick a ball, son. Like it's too much. Like questions like that are really funny and really cute. Or like, how much cum comes out of a person? Measurement. Like, is it a cup? Is it a teaspoon? Is it a quarter of a teaspoon? They're so curious. And I think that's the funnest part of my job, is answering their questions.
Are you held to a standard in today's world where we have pansexualism, transsexualism, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that anymore. Are you held
like
to
LGBTQ?
Yeah, are you held to a different teaching standard in how you explain things?
I don't think it's a different teaching standard. I think the idea of how we approach our work is that we want it to be inclusive. We don't want anyone to feel like this information isn't for them. And that goes beyond just young people who identify as like queer and the LGBTQ community. That goes to young people who may have different abilities. And we want everyone, because everyone's a sexual being and every, person might have these urges. And that's something that everyone can experience. So my goal and the way that we approach our work is like we want it to be inclusive, no matter if you're a part of this community or that community. This information is applicable to everyone.
With kids coming out earlier than ever now, have you had to administer more butt play talk in your in your sex ed classes?
Okay, so here's what I'll say is sometimes we like get questions. It's like how do gay people have sex? And but sexual behavior and someone's sexual orientation or sexual or gender identity are really separate, right? Because anal sex, anybody with a butthole, which is everybody, can have anal sex, right? So it's not necessarily like attached to a certain community. So we always talk about like what risk factors having anal sex is, and like the biggest message I always want to tell people is like use lube, use a lot of lube. Go slow, talk to your partner about it. Don't be really focused if you're hitting it from the back. This is not what I tell kids, but I just feel like maybe your listeners would appreciate this. If you're hitting it from the back, a nice thing to do to make sure you get it in the hole you want is, put your thumb over the butthole or just make sure, no surprises. You know what I mean? Nobody wants a butt surprise.
But first, we play from behind.
Yeah, but you better fucking tell me because I want to know about it first. I want to be ready.
No surprises.
No surprises. Like people who are receiving anal sex have to be like really relaxed and like prepared for it and ready and lube once again.
Do you talk about anything like aphrodisiacs or anything like that? Sex on ecstasy?
No.
None of that?
No. Mm-mm.
We should start implementing that into your practice.
Oh, we should?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think the message for kids, sex on ecstasy would be? What do you think that message would be?
Well, there has to be a strong blinking warning. If you have sex while on ecstasy, sex might not ever be the same ever again.
Oh, is that what happens?
It has happened. So it's like, it's literal ecstasy. So you're possibly throwing your pleasure barometer out of whack for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but pleasure is so like individualized with the person that you're with. That's what's so exciting about it. And people sometimes will ask me like, oh, like what's your best sex advice? And I always say like people who are curious and like really like tuned into their partner at that time and really like ready and excited to explore someone's body, that's like the best sex advice, right? Be curious. Don't rely on old tricks that worked with somebody else. Like discover each other's bodies because everyone's body's different and do what you want with my body. I don't know that song. Is that a white people song?
It's Lady Gaga.
I don't know that song.
Lady Jaja.
Is that back when she was wearing meat dresses?
That's funny you say that because last night I was wearing my daughter on my head. I do this thing where I pick her up and just balance her on my head. Cute. On her belly. And I said, hey, look, guys, I'm Lady Gaga on the red carpet. Dude, that woman showed up to a red carpet with a steak slapped on her freaking head. And
wore it like she was wearing Versace. I was like, this is what we're doing. That's individualism. That's a person who doesn't give no fucks.
You can't tell me that's not that doesn't have confidence written all over it.
It has confidence or a contract, whichever.
Or insecurity.
Yeah, it could. It could be anything. Or insecurity.
Damn. Do you find yourself having to psychoanalyze people, these kids that you're giving sexual education to?
No.
Never at all, due to questions or anything like that?
No, I mean, I'm a mandated reporter, and I mean, that's a little bit different. But no, we're not. We're providing like education and information. And, sometimes if a young person has more needs and they express that to me, that's something that I'll, try to get them connected with like the school that we're in or the organization, making sure that they get the resources that they need. But No, I'm not psychoanalyzing anyone. I don't have the skills or the qualifications to do that.
Plus, that brings you down a slippery slope.
Oh yeah, and that's not my job. That's not my role when I'm going into these schools. It's not to do that. You know, we always, you know, another way that we approach this work as being trauma informed is really important, right? Because so like when we walk into a room, we just want to make sure that anything that we're saying, like if it's a trigger for someone, that they have a way to leave the classroom or make sure we set that up with the teacher or the school beforehand, because we don't want to like traumatize anyone by this information or re-traumatize anyone.
Yeah, that's very tough with, I noticed that with coaching youth as well, basketball, where I kind of do have to walk on eggshells in a different way than like say what my former coaches had to. Like our parents were like, no, ream them, make them run as much, swear at them if you have to.
Yeah, be hard on them.
Be hard on them. And nowadays I feel like I was just talking to a kid's dad last night. Just randomly ran into him. And he's like, oh, I wish you could coach my kid this year again, but I'm sticking with 5th and 6th graders. And he just like, these parents feel like their hands are tied because they want to coach, but they are forced to abide by a different set of circumstances nowadays where these kids, there's a thing called a safe space now. You know what I'm saying? That never existed before.
Yeah.
Shit, campuses across our country have safe spaces. Like Chicago is known for them.
Yeah.
All these colleges have safe spaces. It's like, what can we talk about nowadays? I want to be hard on people.
Yeah, I think you still can. I think you can still be hard on kids. I think you can still be honest with kids. I don't think, you know, I think if you're playing a competitive sport, there's a level of intensity that goes along with that. So, yeah, I mean, I think people can talk about anything. I mean, maybe not everywhere, but people can talk about anything. Anything, yeah. I don't see why not.
When did you start doing comedy?
Okay, let's pick it up.
I don't want to talk about kids anymore.
I know, it's like, fuck kid. No, I'm just kidding. I started doing comedy like a year and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah.
She's a late bloomer, folks.
I am, yeah. Which is crazy because I've been around comedy my whole life.
What do you mean?
Because my mom does stand-up comedy.
What?
Yeah. So I was like 8 years old in comedy clubs with my mom, like as she's doing like open mics and doing shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like opened up for like David Allen Greer, you know, the guy from In Living Color. Yeah. And yeah, so comedy's always been in my life. And I think it's always something that I wanted to do. But like fear, insecurity, life, kid, you know, my daughter, work, all kind of, you know, consumed my life for a really long time. And then I just did it. I just signed up for an open mic. I didn't tell anyone. My mom came with me and I just went up there and I did it. And I was like, this is my drug. This is it. I love it.
You have the perfect personality for it too.
I do?
Yeah, you can already tell. Like I wasn't when I saw some of the micro material that the Back Pocket Boys were releasing when you were on their show a couple weeks ago. I was like, damn, this girl, she's a comedian. And then I listened further. Oh, she is a comedian.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, you can tell. Your aura has comedian written all over it.
That's the best compliment anyone's ever given me.
You have the aura of a broken comedian.
I know, and I'm not sad. Isn't that crazy? Because a lot of comedians are, but I'm not sad. And I feel like that's because my life has always been filled with laughter, even in really hard times. I've always found a way to kind of stay positive and know that I'm going to make the best decision for myself in that moment. Even if I look down the road and was like, oh, that was fucking dumb. I still know that I did the best that I could in that moment. And also, just like getting older, I'm 36 now, just being like really self-aware, always trying to find my own emotional intelligence, really reflecting on situations. So I put in a lot of work in myself, which is the best self-care in my opinion.
Have you seen the movie Joker yet?
No, but I want to. I might go tonight.
It's fucked.
I know I'm hearing a lot of mixed things about it. Mostly good, but that is like, it's intense.
It's awesome.
Is it,
the story twist is just incredible. Like,
so is it like how he became Joker? I'm like loosely into it. Like the Marvel and the Batmans and the like very loosely far removed. But this movie is very intriguing to me because it feels less like Marvel and more like a story.
Yeah, it's the story of how it all came to be.
See, I might go see it tonight.
It is because it's not Marvel at all.
Okay.
It's not
a superhero movie or
not a superhero movie. Okay. It is, yeah. And it has so many tethers to the real world that we are facing today that it all kind of like it's tough to say anything without spoiling it.
Okay, don't.
Yeah, but just to let you know, it's the story of how it all came to be, and it is the most brilliant way to write it that I think I have ever seen.
Yeah, because I think people go into this. I think it's no secret that the Joker is fucking nuts. Like, there's never been a movie where it's like, God, this guy's reasonable, right? Like, it's always like, I think going into that, people already know that this movie is gonna be like intense. But I'm excited to see. Maybe that's what I'll do tonight. Thank you. Now I have plans.
There's a common theme because it's all about why we should hug our fucking kids.
Really?
Hug your fucking kids.
I love that. I'm really affectionate. And even now when my daughter's like 15 and she's like, ugh, Mom, get off of me. I'm like, oh, I can't. That's important.
That's a powerful trait. To be like, because I grew up with a mom who didn't hug us at all. But the thing is, I can't fault her because she wasn't hugged.
Yeah,
she
it's
had
a cycle. It's
5
how you
other
learn.
siblings.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's really cool to be able to nip it at the head with all the kids I bring into this world.
Yes.
Or they're getting too many hugs.
Yeah.
But the thing is there's never enough if we believe in unconditional
I
love.
always tell my daughter, as annoyed you are with me now, you're going to be 25 and you're going to be like, oh my God, that was the best. Like if you didn't have it, you'd miss it. You know, I'm always telling her about her older self. Like you might be irritated at me now, but your older self is going to understand why I'm doing this, you know?
You have to be perceived as one of the coolest moms ever.
Not to her.
Of course not to her.
But to her friends. So her volleyball team love me because I'm loud and I like scream things that don't make sense. This one girl, honestly, the things that just come out of my mouth, this one girl served a ball and I was like, yeah, Olivia, that was like butter on a warm biscuit. That was smooth. Like I'm just yelling random things, but they love it. And Anijah tolerates it because if enough people are like, that's cool. And then, you know, Anijah tells people that I'm a comedian and they think that's cool. I think now that our hormones are more live, I feel like we're leveling out a little bit. They were spiked for a little bit and I was like, oh my gosh. I think now she gets it, even though she still really wants that independence and she's right in the middle of that, just wanting to like be away from me a little bit, but every once in a while she comes back and it's really sweet and then she's like, peace. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go do comedy. And now it's easy for me, right? Because that's something that also I think has helped with comedy. I feel like all the stars were aligned. Like my daughter was 14 at the time and wanting to like pull away from me. So me not being gone, it really helped with the mom guilt. If she was young, I don't know if I would be able to do it with the grind that I have been.
Mm-hmm. So, as driven as you are you a single mother?
Yes. But she has a really good relationship with her dad. He's amazing. We have a really good relationship. It's really the dream.
Very civil.
Yes.
And that is how you don't fuck up your kids.
Yeah, and your kids notice it because Anijah has told me, like, oh my God, like you and my dad get along. Because me and, we'll josh each other and we'll talk shit. Like that's just how we are. And Anijah sees that. And she's like, because she has friends that have parents who are awful to each other and the kids notice that and I'm like, oh my God, like the kids are talking about this. And that's another reason when me and her dad broke up, I told him to his face, I was like, no matter what, I will never hate you more than I love her. You know, and your relationship with her is too important. I will never keep you from her. I will never use her as a pawn. I will never do anything as long as you know, do what you're supposed to do. But if you hurt her, I'll cut your dick off. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been great.
Snip, snip, motherfucker.
Yeah, like I'm a mama bear to the fullest. Like I cuss out kids like that bad. Like
Really?
if I have to.
Yeah, like it's so, no, because kids who see their parents at odds, they replicate that in their own relationships.
Absolutely. I mean, as adults, we see it, right? We see cycles. Like you know, my mom had me and I had my daughter at the same age, right? And unconsciously, I didn't even think about that. It's not like I was like, oh, I'm 20 now, I'm going to have a kid. I didn't think, you know, but like reflecting on it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is something that it happens all the time. My friend, one of my best friends has really kind of the same relationship as she saw her parents have. And it absolutely is true.
It's so dangerous, especially raising daughters.
Yeah, and sons for very different reasons.
For different reasons. Yeah. And like with sons, for instance, like they're coming from a broken home, I gravitated towards people who came from broken homes. And then with girls, like having to be so delicate is kind of a game changer for me because I'm an intense motherfucker.
Yeah, it's okay to be intense with your daughter. Like my mom is intense. Like she's from New York. She's like, you look at her and you're like, this bitch is scrappy. I can tell. Like you could just, you know. So my mom was very hard on me, and I am very hard on my daughter in a different way because my daughter's sensitive in a different way than I am. But I'm still very hard on her, and I always look at her and tell her like, I love you. The world doesn't give a fuck about you. If you know what I mean? That I'm preparing you. I'm not just keeping you alive. I'm preparing you to like live out there. You know, it's not just like, oh, you're breathing today. No, I also have to make sure that you're equipped for the world that you're walking into. And if you can't take it from me, that world is going to eat you up. And I love you. I'm doing this because I love you. I'm preparing you. You know?
Sound bites. Yeah. That's what that was. She's literally wearing her mentality on her shirt.
Yeah.
I'm a mama bear, bitch. I'll fuck your life up.
Yeah, I have to.
Straight up.
But also, like, she's at the age where I have to hold on and let her navigate for herself and let her advocate for herself and let her figure out when she wants to do that, when that's appropriate, when it's not appropriate. How do you do that? So there's also that balance too, right? Because it doesn't do her any good if I'm just always like running in and saving the day or running in and cussing somebody out or whatever. Like she has to be able to navigate that on her own and emotionally be able to emotionally be able to like hug herself. You know what I mean? Because I'm not always going to be there. She's probably gone through things that has been awful and I didn't know about it. You know, that's real life when you have teenagers. But what I have to be set on is that she is emotionally in tuned enough as she can be at this age to like go through that, acknowledge it, appreciate it, learn, grow, and just like next thing, you know?
And as a father raising a daughter, I'm learning and realizing that my power move will be setting my daughter up to make the right decisions with boys as opposed to being that dad on the stoop with a shotgun.
Yeah.
my power move is setting her up to make the right decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to have to be this forceful unit who has to scare boys away with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah. And we do that by planting seeds in our kids when they have friendships. Like, oh my God, you're friends with Billy. Like, why do you like Billy? Oh, because he's nice and he plays with me and he shares. That's awesome. So why aren't you friends with Sally? Because she hits me. Well, that's a good decision. Like, you made a really good decision. Yeah, we don't want to be friends with someone who hits us, right? And then we plant those seeds, and as they get older, we're still having those conversations. And then when they're making these decisions, then they kind of already know their standards.
Boss moves.
Yeah.
We're over
Are we
here.
done? I thought we were done talking about kids.
We're
but
over
it's
here
fun.
being all proactive.
I know.
And shit.
Look at us. Look at us. We're like the best parents in the world.
We don't have White Claw, though. That's fucked up. That's typically where we clink White Claws.
I'm excited that you don't have White Claws, not my thing. Like,
really? I mean, I got called like last night. They're like, "Oh, you want another bitch water?"
I mean, I think White Claw is probably great for people who drink it and love it, but I just don't like it.
What's your drink of choice then?
It depends. It depends on what I'm doing. So wine at home is I like that every once in a while. Bacardi Limon 7 with the lemon is my 100% go-to, but if I'm not driving, whiskey 7.
If I'm not driving,
Yeah.
whiskey, make it dark.
Yeah. Whiskey 7.
When'd you start drinking?
Probably when I was like a junior in high school. That's when I like remember having like drinks. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did your mom find out?
Not that I know of, but she probably, I don't know, she might have known. She actually picked me up and I was wasted. And I threw up all over my room and I was panicking and I was cleaning it up. And she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm tired, I'm taking a nap." I was so drunk. She probably doesn't remember. Yeah.
You projectiled all over mom's floor?
And yeah, thank God I had hardwood floors in my room. So it was just a quick little wipe up. And then I think I passed out.
Khadijah, what's that smell?
I don't even know if that happened. Literally, all I remember is that my mom picked me up. I showered, and I thought if I showered and changed my clothes, that would help. I practiced walking straight in my friend's house. I was like, "How do I look?" My friend's like, "I think you look good." And I was like, "Cool." And then I got in the car, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm so tired. We stayed up so much." And my mom was like, "Okay." I went home, passed out, woke up. I think I had the spins. Woke up, threw up, cleaned it up, passed back out. Yeah. I was probably like 17.
Oh my gosh. To think of all the times, like in high school, I fell on my head. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. I never did anything like that. I wasn't like a super, and I'm still this way to this day. I love hanging out with people. I love a good time. I love people who like to have a good time. But I've never super been into like drinking a ton. Mm-hmm. I think I did a little bit when I was like 18, 19, 20, because me and my friend had this like dope apartment. It was like big. We thought we were balling, and it was like we always like threw shindigs and things like that. So for a little stint there, I was really like on a drinking stint. But you know, it's just, I don't know. It's not something I've always been like super into. I like to like get the buzz where I'm like, I feel good, I'm having fun, I'm laughing. I don't like to get to the point where it's like, I don't feel good, I feel sick.
Yeah, that's where people's true colors come out. And I don't like to, because I'm the type of person where I analyze rooms.
What kind of drunk are you? Like when you're like to that level that's like drunk, can't drive, what kind of person are you?
It's
now?
fun. I'm a peacemaker.
Okay.
I'm not the type of person, I have been this person, but I'm not the type of person, like all the fights I ever got in high school, I wasn't the one starting them, even though I was partying with everybody. I just helped finish them.
Okay.
And so I was never the type of person to go be this fucking jackass for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fun drunk. Like, I just want everyone to laugh and have a good time.
Yeah.
And crack jokes.
Yeah.
Because it turns into a roast battle, one big roast battle.
Fun.
When me and my friends get drunk with one another, we just fucking roast one another.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
good.
And that's kind of like, it brings it back to square one. But at the same time, like, people are waking up nowadays to drinking, where it's like, dude, there's so much enforcement out there. Mm-hmm. Like, we're better off just staying at home, passing around a doobie.
Yeah.
And we don't have to wake up with a headache tomorrow.
Right.
Especially being a young parent.
Yeah.
Because, like, you've got life by the balls. Being a 36-year-old mother who's got a teenager. Like, you're at the home stretch right now.
Home stretch.
Like, freedom is so close.
I can see it. It's like lit up. It's like Vegas. I'm like right there. I'm like, my boarding pass is almost paid off type shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's time. I'm excited. And my daughter has big plans. She really is in love with Australia. And she's like, you know, has plans to travel and things like that. Anything could happen, but I know that she's ready to like see the world, and I love that. And
Vegas is right there.
it's right there. I see it.
What are your plans for when you kick her out?
I'll probably cry. But then I'll be like, cool.
Peace.
Wipe those tears. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go hard in comedy. Travel more. It'll be interesting because I started comedy basically when she was in 9th grade. So by the time she's done, I'll be in comedy like about 4 years, which it'll be interesting to see where I'm at and like with the freedom of that. So it'll be real interesting. So I'm excited.
What's your writing method like?
Life. I just wait for life to happen, or like every once in a while, like a thought will just pop in my head and then I'll write it down. I'll just write exactly what I think and work it, go out, open mic it, work it, figure it out.
Throw some tags on there.
Throw some tags on it.
Like an old man's armpit.
Yes. Took me a minute. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like so confused. I was like, what?
What is it with old people and these like skin growths that they get on their body? What the fuck is up with that?
I don't know. I'm not a dermatologist.
You can't tell me what the deal is?
No.
Because I've seen some...
It's their skin giving up and trying to get away from them little by little. I don't know.
Just running away.
Yeah, just like, fuck this. It forms a ball and then it'll pop off and they'll be like, yeah, I won. It got me out. I don't know.
Literally, I'm about to just bring gobs and gobs of cocoa butter to the Mayo Clinic gym where all these tags reside. Just fucking throw them out.
Is that
like,
where tags go to die?
Just
the Mayo Clinic?
No, it's the gym, like their Dan Aram Healthy Living Center. There's so many saggy ass old dudes in there, which will be me someday. But I'm about to roll in and start throwing around cocoa butter like Oprah does cars.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You get some butter. You get some butter.
Yeah, cocoa butter is good. So I'm with it. You know, black people, we fuck with cocoa butter. So like, yes.
I think the most undermined thing that we can do for ourselves on a daily basis is lotion.
Thank you.
People
Yes.
take it for granted.
Not black people.
I feel like it's not talked about enough.
It's talked about in black people community because we don't want. No, can I tell you a secret right now? Literally, I changed my purse this morning. I didn't put any lotion. I'm on my way here. My hands were fucking ashy. I was like, oh my God, I had a panic. You know what I did? I took my chapstick and fucking rubbed that shit on my hands like lotion. Look, I'm not ashy. That's a black girl fucking move. And it smells like chapstick.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a black girl hack right there. I'm not about to be out here ashy with ash in the cracks and the crevices of my hands. No, thank you. So black people, we know about lotion and moisturizing. This is not a new concept. This is what we do. That's why black people always look so shiny.
You just said black girl hack. Mm-hmm. I need to hear more.
Oh, black girl hacks?
Yeah.
Oh, that's on the spot. I don't even know. I can't even think of what a black girl hack would be on the spot. I know there's a ton of them.
I'm trying to think too.
I think like chapstick on the knuckles. That's definitely a black girl hack.
Chapstick on the knuckles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Damn.
I can't think of any more off the top of my head.
How do you feel about the browless society we're moving towards?
I think it's fine. If people don't want to wear a bra, don't wear a bra. I don't have a problem with it. That's not, I go without a bra sometimes.
I think there's no place for guys to be in the conversation.
No, I mean,
we don't get a say.
People can say whatever they want.
It's all about women and their comfort,
Yeah, I think if people don't want to wear a bra, you don't have to wear a bra. No matter what size your boobs are, you don't want to wear a bra, don't wear a bra.
I call them freedom tits.
Freedom tits? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let them out. Let them loose. Let them hang. Let them swing.
Let your girls hang out.
Yeah, why not?
Let them be friends.
Yeah.
Let them kiss each other.
Your boobs?
Well, if they go jogging.
No, if they go jogging, they'll just, depending on what size you are, you getting smacked in the face.
They're doing the Olympics.
Yeah.
The pole vault.
Yeah, they're going up and down. They're trampolining up and down, up and down. They're not kissing each other. They're not even getting close to each other. You worried about your chin, not them touching each other. That would be a gift if they did.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever done with super glue?
Okay. In high school, we had this obsession with like those little like diamond studs. They were made for your nails. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we would glue them on our tooth right here. We thought that shit was dope, fire. We were like, thought we were it. We glue them on our teeth. Little diamonds. It's kind of fly though, you have to admit.
We were making grills out of the wrapping that gum was in.
I remember doing that in elementary school. Yep. I remember doing that. I pierced my nose in study hall in the bathroom. Me and my friend did. We went to Sally's, got a kit for your ears, and there was 2 piercers, and I backed her up in a corner and stuck it through her nose. She backed me up in a corner and stuck it through my nose. We went back to class and we had our noses pierced.
Did you use ice at all?
No, there's no ice. It was school. All we had was each other.
That's fucked up.
I know.
You didn't even use a potato?
No, it was study hall.
That's fucked up.
All we had was the kit and each other.
Coming from a woman who tells kids to be disease-free, you guys are in a dirty-ass bathroom shoving needles in your noses.
Exactly. That's exactly what we did. But you're not going to get an STI from piercing your nose in a bathroom.
Ooh. Have you ever been to Stout to preach about sexual transmitted diseases?
No. We stay in the metro area.
Straight metro?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Stout had I swear Stout, in Wisconsin, they like set a record for more STDs per capita at their college or some shit. This is back in the day.
Back in the day? Yeah. STIs are easy. Easy to get and give.
Okay, STI, sexually transmitted.
Infection. Yep.
So what? We can't call it a disease anymore?
I mean, you can. I mean, I think people know they're interchangeable. Really, we just kind of moved to STIs because one, it's a better like categorization of like what they are. They're actually like not diseases, they're infections. And then it's just like less stigma attached to like the word infection.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
That's because like with addiction, now they're making you call it a disorder instead of an addiction. I think we're at a war with words right now.
Yes.
It's fucking weird, especially when like...
there's a lot of like... I think words are important. I want to say that. I do think words are important. But I think it's a time where people are like feeling complex to not say things, or then like people are feeling really complex to say things. And I think, words are important, and people have every means possible these days to say it wherever, whenever they want to, and they don't even have to own up to it. They don't even have to like be themselves when they do it. They could do it anonymously, because of social media and things like that. So, yeah, but I do believe words are important, especially in relationships.
I just don't like it when people try to limit sounds we make with our mouths, as long as it's not hurting somebody.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like words, I feel have carried so much weight, and they are hurting people more than ever. And it's very tough, like in the comedy scene, where it's like, how do you push boundaries if I'm guaranteed going to hurt somebody?
Yeah.
Because I can't help that so many people are more emotionally charged than ever.
Yeah, and I think it goes back a little bit to people being emotionally intelligent and really figuring out like why is something that I said like triggering something in you, and also coming to a place of like, oh, okay, like maybe we don't see eye to eye on this, but I hear your point and I appreciate it. You heard my point, and hopefully you can appreciate it, and then we can go about our day. Yeah, I mean, that's really real for me. I had posted something and like people didn't like it, and I was like a little surprised by it, and I appreciated the arguments that people brought to my attention. But one thing I never will do, I will never go back and forth with someone too much on Facebook. It's not my thing.
It's we've hit peak oil with Facebook. We really hit peak oil.
Yeah?
Do you know what that means?
Probably not.
Peak oil is where it's based around oil. So we've tapped into the most oil we could possibly tap into.
You think there has to be something else?
Well, with Facebook, yeah. So like Facebook has seen its golden age, and now it's down from here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Same thing with, that's why Twitter, all they ever do is talk about Trump. So there's this subset, which is called Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's where we go to post funny ass memes and actually talk shit.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it on Facebook anymore. Instagram, you get shadow banned.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the algorithm's changing.
Yeah.
So now we're going to start going more towards like localized, private, invite only social networks via our websites.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Where that can control consumerism as well. And it can be the Wild West. We can get back to the organic reach we once had.
That would be good. That would be nice.
Get my drift?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Astral Network.
Thank you. I learned so much about technology with this time with you, which is a place where I need to learn the most. I have a most growth in technology and like figuring this all out.
Well, before we went hot, we were talking quite a bit about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right now in regards to your own podcast.
Yeah.
That you are going to be launching in 2020.
Yes.
And that's very exciting because
yes, it is.
There's something about like females with personalities with who can make people laugh. Mm-hmm. That is fucking golden.
It is?
Yes, because like here's the deal. There's a difference between like a Dave Chappelle, a Joe Rogan, a Bill Burr, that type of comedian, a male comedian that can make somebody laugh. That's a given, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but when because females can push a different set of boundaries that males can't.
Right. There is a double standard in that way, I feel like.
But it's awesome. I love it.
I'm benefiting from it.
A well-written, like females can crack a rape joke. A guy cannot crack a rape joke.
Well, I hope no females are cracking rape jokes.
Are you kidding me? Check this out. Joe Rogan's opener, right?
Yeah.
She was talking about how she's doing jujitsu now.
Yeah.
And she's like, if I ever got raped and I put him in a headlock, I'd whisper in his ear, who's raping who?
Okay.
Set and setting, though, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's a female comedian cracking. That was literally grasshoppers, crickets. But no, it was like how she timed it.
Yeah.
It was like, holy fuck, only she could say that.
Only she could say that, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who was it?
Because like people hear that and it's like, that's empowering.
Yep.
And like, that's like, yeah, he deserves, I don't know, like, okay.
A guy can't crack that joke.
No.
So there is a double standard, but it's the kind of double standard where it's like, fucking cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, guys have been getting away with saying shit for fucking years in comedy, you know, and I come from a time in comedy that there was no censor, you know? So I feel like my relationship with comedy and how comedy is now and how I've seen it like kind of change is maybe one of those things where it's like, listen, I get it. I understand that comedy can really like provoke a lot of emotions for people, and you know, then maybe comedy is not your thing, and that's fine. But on the flip side, I feel like when people, and there's a lot of nuance with this, but I feel like people are able to use comedy as a therapy, just as people use music, as when they write music. And, you know, Taylor Swift made a whole fucking like career out of it. I had a breakup. I wrote a song about it that helped me move on, right? The same thing with comedy. And sometimes in the pain, there's laughter. And the thing that I love about comedy, and I say this all the time, is like, I feel like laughter is the most underutilized joy that we have in life, and it's free. You can just have it. Unless like buy a ticket, but like you can have this. And comedy, I feel like, is a way for people to talk about painful things and make a joke about it and like say, I got through this thing or this thing happened to me, and like we can all share a laugh about it because somebody in the audience kind of can relate to it. I mean, like I said, I think there's a lot of nuance like within that, but also at the same time,
a good joke is a good joke. A bad joke is a bad joke.
Yeah, and comedy is subjective, right? Every person is going to think something different is funny. And, you know, I always remind myself of that. Is like, comedy is subjective. I could do the same joke and it fucking killed 30 times. And then that 31st time, for some reason, it just fucking hit flat. And it's like, oh, well, comedy's subjective. And this is not about me because I'm having the time of my life up here.
The worst is when motherfuckers pay to come to a show, then complain leaving. It's like, you paid to come to this show, and if you get offended during it, that's on you. That's not on the comedian. Don't go fucking blogging about it. That's the worst part. Joe Rogan was in town last month with that girl who I just talked about. Same thing with Ian Edwards. Each one of them were like upping the ante even more because when you're a top tier comedian, you're competing with the Chappelles, you're competing with the Bill Burrs, you're competing with these hitters who are pushing boundaries and not giving a fuck who they step on.
And I don't have any problem with people pushing boundaries, but I'm like, if you're gonna say something and you know it might be offensive, well, at least say it with conviction, you know? And I mean, I've watched a bajillion comedy shows and there's been things that I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And there's things that's like, oh, that's not good for me, but maybe somebody else would think it's funny. And like, that's just what it is. I'm trying to live my life and I'm trying to live it the best way that I can. I only got one go at it and I'm not going to run around, for me, just being sad. And you know what I mean? And I just have to find the funny in anything, and that's what I try to do.
Well, and going back around full circle, women with personalities who have podcasts.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about.
It's the best because typically a woman with a personality, in my eyes, knows who she is.
Yeah.
She knows what she represents.
I do.
And there ain't shit you can tell me.
No.
It's just, I am who I am. And those are the type of women I love to listen to on podcasts because there is no beat around the bush. It's straight to the fucking punch, dude.
Yeah. I think, and I, that's how I've always been. That's how I was raised. That's who my mom is and all the women in my family. Like, I come from a really matriarchal family and I've seen women in my family just do these really cool things and be exactly who they want and do things that maybe women and women of color don't typically do. And it's just where I am at.
What would be an unpopular point of view that you have?
Okay.
That camera's dead, so don't worry.
Okay. In general, I think sometimes people are just picking a fight and like, you don't need to. Why is it so important for you to tell me I'm wrong or assume something about me and you have never even met me because you're on my Facebook and you see my post? You think you fucking know me? No. If I say something you don't like it, unfriend me. I don't need your comments because I can engage in a conversation and a healthy debate and engage with someone of different opinions. That's fine. But what I don't like and don't appreciate is when someone is like, oh, well, okay, what I'm talking about. I made a post the other day that said, I don't know why everyone's so mad at Ellen because of this whole Bush thing. I said, I don't know why everyone's so mad at Ellen, but people are still friends with drug dealers, thieves, people who write checks in grocery stores, and people who put babies in dogs in baby cards or baby carriages. That was my post, right? I liked and appreciated Ellen's message of being like, she says be kind to everyone, and her message wasn't about a specific community. I saw it as she's saying, hey, I may not agree with this person, but I can be in a room with this person. I can still be friends with this person. And if you as a person is like, I would never be friends with someone that has opposite views, then Ellen is not for you, and neither was my comment. But somebody literally posted on my page, oh, it sounds like you have a problem with LGBTQ people. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. What I took as Ellen's message is like, she's talking the talk and walking the walk. She's saying, I'm saying be kind to everybody, not just people who share the same views as you. How do we grow as a society if I'm on this side and you're on this side and we don't meet in the middle? How does change happen? When Martin Luther King made change happen, when segregation happened, guess who had to be at that table? People who thought people should be separated. People who thought people should be integrated. Those same people had to sit at the same table for that change to happen. That's how that works. And I engaged with this person longer than I should have and I normally would. And it was basically like this person just being like, you don't understand my point. You are stay in your lane. All these things, right? And I was like, whoa, I've said multiple times in this conversation that I see your point. I agree with your point. I haven't cussed at you. I haven't assumed things about your character or your values, but you've done that to me.
Or your pronoun.
And no, and they were just like, well, you obviously don't care what I have to say. It's like, I absolutely do. Like, read the comments. I've engaged with you in this conversation for over an hour while I'm at work.
Yeah.
I do care. And they're like, well, stay in your lane. I was like, well, what's my lane? The fact that I go to the school district and make sure schools are safe for all young people, and the fact that I make sure that everyone feels comfortable and safe in a bathroom, is that my lane? Was that my lane when I was out protesting that everyone deserves a chance to get married, no matter same-sex marriages should be legalized? Was that my lane then? Like, what is my lane? Like, you don't know me. Like, you've never had a conversation with me. And so that really bothered me, because I was like, I'm like an advocate for that community and anyone just like, especially young people, right? Because we know that they're suffering. And so that really bothered me. So that is probably an unpopular opinion. If you don't like what I say, just like get the fuck off my Facebook, because you don't know me. And the people who know me liked and thought that post was funny because I was just making a joke and not at anyone's expense. And, you know, I can appreciate people being hurt and like not liking that, but that's fine. Like, what gives you the right to judge me and not come at me with compassion and curiosity like I'm coming at you?
We have a perception issue. So we have people who identify as something, but it doesn't mean they're not broken like the next person who's a straight human being. We're all broken.
We've all experienced trauma. We all internalize things. We all, you know what I mean? But I've done the work for myself to recognize when that is coming up in me.
Yep.
And not projecting that on someone else. Someone else saying something that may hurt my feelings is not the only personality of that person. Just because they said one thing in one moment, that doesn't mean this person is a bad person or they hate people or da-da-da-da-da. They just said something in that moment that I don't agree with.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah, so many people are they're pulling at strings that have frayed ends that they just cannot get their grasp on because they want to control Khadijah. They want to.
I don't know, and I don't want to assume anything about anybody.
Oh, that's what they're fucking doing. They're trying to control you.
But I don't. But here's my thing: is that I am solid in who I am and what I stand for and the values that I have, and if I'm gonna say 1 million more things that piss people off before I die. Am I going to focus on that? No. I'm going to focus on writing my next joke and getting booked. Like, that's my lane, is finding my own happiness. And then I saw that this person was like, positivity culture can suck it. And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Nobody helped rewrite history by not fluffing feathers. You got to ruffle feathers. And I feel like I was definitely, and I didn't see it as coming from a disrespectful place. Your issue is not with me. Your issue is the fact that you feel like someone who represents your community at a really high level did something that hurt you personally. Okay. That's fine. I get that. I'm just going to
I understand that, but you know who also is friends with George W. Bush? Michelle Obama, and nobody's fucking clapped at her. She's just as friendly with George Bush. There's probably more pictures of George Bush and Michelle Obama than Ellen, and we don't know. Maybe Ellen and him just happen to be in the same booth, the same rich people booth, and happen to sit next to each other. What is she supposed to do? Ruin her time because she's sitting next to somebody who has different views from her?
And she explained it. She's friends with Jerry Jones's daughter. the owner of the Cowboys, she's just friends with his daughter. She can't help that George W. is friends with Jerry Jones too, and she knows him in passing too. You know?
I think it's maybe a cultural thing. Like as a black woman, I don't have that luxury of picking and choosing. I have to navigate this world with everyone because if I did, I wouldn't be able to get anywhere. Like that's the truth. Unfortunately, that's real. You know?
My stepdad's black.
Okay.
And
I love when people tell me stuff like that.
He is so down for the culture, down for the count of like moving up this corporate ladder and like scaling up and like becoming something professionally, where he wears camouflage. He literally wears camouflage.
What does that mean?
He wears camouflage. Fucking camouflage.
Why does he do that? A lot of heavy breathing.
No, because...
No, I'm just curious. Like, why does... Like, he wears it to work? Or, like, to the grocery store?
Everywhere.
Because he likes camo? Because he's at a war? I'm just...
None of it. He's an Air Force veteran, but not even like that.
Okay.
Like, he just did a couple years. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's a career Air Force vet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He just does it because... Here's the deal. He works in chemical sales, right?
Okay.
So he's got to befriend, like, factory owners and car shop owners and janitorial managers and shit like that to sell their factories and their schools and their companies chemicals.
Okay.
So, like, he'll do whatever it takes to freaking get in like Flynn and get this account.
Sure.
And he's successful at it. Don't get it twisted. He's from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, my stepdad said, I love him to death. He's been a major mentor in my life. The day I saw him, this is like 2 years ago. It's kind of recent. He started wearing camouflage. I had to say something.
Right.
I couldn't just not notice it. Like, Sid, dude, I might not be able to see you in a dark room, but I can certainly see you right now wearing this fucking camouflage camping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, don't get it twisted, bro. And sure enough, he just played it off like ain't no thing. It's like, dude, this is beyond a midlife crisis. This is
like, why are you wearing camo?
You're wearing camouflage, bro. And like, because he has to give Trump supporters the time of day.
Sure.
Because that's his main clientele.
That's his job, yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like now it's kind of infiltrating his psyche to the point where he's like, he's totally empathetic towards people who fucking hate him, basically, which you got to give him because that's a power move, you know?
Yeah.
To the point he's wearing camouflage now. Yeah. And he doesn't even own a rifle, doesn't own a shotgun, doesn't hunt. He just wears camouflage.
He just wears camouflage and making sales.
Yeah, so it's kind of fucked up. Why do you like it when white people tell you stories of their black stepdads?
It's just fun when white people are like, I have a black friend. That
throws me off because I think they're like they try to come in culturally vulturistic where they want to like fit in because they know where the trend is going. The trend is fucking hip hop and basketball players right now.
Well, it's been that.
Well, the Kardashians set the trend.
Okay.
You get my drift?
Yeah.
Everything trickles down from the Kardashians. So now we're seeing plastic surgeries on Instagram models are all, there's a literal Kardashian chin job. Okay, that you can go to LA and get, and all the girls are getting it. Same thing with the butt lifts. No longer butt implants. They go to Kim Kardashian's doctor and they get their shit moved down. You get my drift? Mm-hmm. So the Kardashian girls have set this like worldwide trend from how to look and what to be, you know, basically culturally relevant.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I like it. I think it's awesome.
You do?
Yeah, because one, I love hip hop music and I love basketball.
Okay.
And I think, and the Kardashian girls have never done anything to anyone. They've never hurt anybody.
I don't.
They're not out disrespecting people.
Hey, I dig the Kardashians. I like their show. I mean, it's like a lot of them, but I mean, I like.
And Kanye's a preacher now. So like, Kim is a saint. You know what I'm saying? She's a St. Franciscan sister. You know, she's grandfathered in because Kanye's a preacher.
I didn't know any of that. I'm not good at pop culture.
Oh, you haven't seen Kanye? Kanye's been taking literally brigades of disciples and just holding church in these parks where everyone's wearing white. I'm telling you.
Like a cult?
In a nutshell, yeah.
Okay.
But they do live music and stuff.
Okay.
And they're all singing.
I thought that was a video shoot. That was his church? I seen a video.
He has like a moving church.
Oh.
He takes it everywhere. He took it out to Denver. He does...
like evangelicals? Kind of? Like they have like a tent. They pop it up.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Bringing that old school back to the 80s. Okay.
He's got a consistent one in LA. As long as they don't start drinking poisonous Kool-Aid, I think we'll be good.
They're probably on their way.
Do you think so?
Probably.
I like what Kim has done for Kanye's psyche because
like his mental health.
I like a healthy Kanye.
We all do.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we all do. I think there was a little bit of time that we were like, Kanye. I think we all like a healthy Kanye. Like, and I haven't been like really keeping up with Kanye for a while, but yeah, I think we all like a healthy Kanye. I think he has a really brilliant mind. He's really smart, and I think the things that he used to say was really profound, and I think that got lost in his mental health. And I think he also had an opportunity to shine a light on like mental health for men, mental health for the Black community, which has been very taboo.
Let's not get it twisted. He ain't really doing shit for mental health.
Oh, he's not?
Fuck no. He just like has his meltdowns. He doesn't. There's nothing Kanye can tell us about mental health that one, we don't already know, or two, we wouldn't.
But he could be an advocate and a voice for people who like historically have not seen that like therapy and mental health is for them. You know, like men and especially Black men in the Black community. I'm
not gonna forgive Kanye until he goes on Joe Rogan. He said he was gonna go on Joe Rogan, and he hasn't been on Joe Rogan yet.
Okay.
It was when he was having his last meltdown.
Not a good time to go on Joe Rogan.
No, but he was like, he reached out. He's like, Joe Rogan, I'm coming on to talk about this. I discovered two of the greatest things our planet's ever seen all in one night. Can you guess what they are?
No.
Kanye West and Chipotle. In one night.
In one night.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
My drug dealer came in. We were in 9th grade.
Yeah.
My drug dealer came in, and he puts on this new College Dropout album by Kanye West.
Oh, see, now you should have said it. I thought you were talking about like recently.
No, this is back in the day.
I love this story. Keep going.
My drug dealer plays me the song Drug Dealing Just to Get By while eating this thing in a tinfoil wrapping. And sure enough, that was the day I discovered Chipotle.
Oh my God. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay. Discovered Chipotle. That's awesome.
Yeah, but the thing is you remember like where you were the first time you heard this, discovered that.
Oh yeah.
Where were you when you discovered Chipotle? Don't bullshit me.
I don't even know. I didn't get down with Chipotle for a long time.
Okay, we're gonna skip that one.
Yeah.
Where were you when you discovered Kanye West?
Oh, it was definitely Gold Digger.
Oh, so it was like second album.
Yeah. Well,
the fuck?
Yeah, probably. See, okay, don't what the fuck me. Listen.
Because that's like Jamie Foxx.
Okay, listen. Okay.
God damn, Khadijah.
Well, first of all, let's talk about what kind of music.
Were you living under a rock?
No, I was immersed in R&B, and like that's the kind of music that I like. So I really didn't get down with a lot of like rap music. I was really into R&B.
What do you know about 112?
What don't I know about 112?
Peaches and cream.
Yes.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Peaches and cream.
That was like a very popular song in a strip club. Yeah, I love it. And it had a good beat to it.
The strip club.
Yeah. Jagged Edge, I like.
Oh, Jagged Edge, yeah.
Yep. Boys to Men, Soul for Real, Erykah Badu.
You better
Fugees.
call Tyrone.
Call him.
Tell him, come on, help me. Come on.
Yeah, so that's the kind of music that I really vibe to. Like
really?
That's yeah.
So your mom probably got you into it then?
R&B?
Yeah.
No, my mom was more like When I think about the music that my mom listened to, is like more like Billy Joel. Like she really loved Billy Joel. So like Uptown Girl, like those are the songs I remember listening to growing up. Yeah, a lot of Stevie Wonder.
So your mom also wore camouflage.
Yeah, my mom doesn't even, like, if I describe my mom to you, you would think I was talking about like 6 people. You're like, well, how many people are you talking about? Just one. My mom is unapologetically who she is. And she has always been that way. Like she's little, she rides a motorcycle, she does stand-up comedy, she's always worked corporate jobs, she has a master's degree, she loves country music, she loves to sing karaoke.
Yeah, your mom definitely wears camouflage.
Yeah, she doesn't. What she wears is leggings. A lot of leggings.
Hey, we got to cut this off.
Yeah. Is it tomorrow?
It's basically tomorrow.
Okay.
And we ran out of White Claw, and my battery's about to die. Okay, so where can people reach you?
Yeah, you can follow me at K Cooper Comedy on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
When's your next show?
My birthday show is going to be in Extravaganza on November 16th at Sisyphus Brewery, 7:30. We'll have a bomb comedy show. My mom's hosting. I'm headlining. I brought some of my friends. It's a pop-up shop, so we'll have some local women vendors and some other fun surprises.
November 16th. We'll see you there.
Yes.